everyone. The next couple tutorial videos are going to show you how to make advanced titles that look like these using layer effects in Photoshop. So I've got an 800 by 800 pixel image here, and I've already set up a basic title. 2 words, both on their own layer. To get to layer effects, first select the layer that you want to affect, and then double click off to the right. Don't double click where the name of the layer is, because that opens up a little field for you to change the name. You've got to click twice off to the right of that. So that opens the layer style window. The left hand side lists all the different effects that you can apply to a layer. The middle portion shows you options for adjusting things. And on the right is a preview box that you can check on and off so that you can see what your changes will look like. So we're going to look at the most common layer effects for making advanced titles, starting with drop shadows. Drop shadows make it look like the letters are kind of floating above a surface, or that they're 3D and have a hard edge to them on one side. So clicking the checkbox beside drop shadow will add a shadow to your text, and clicking the preview button on and off will show you the difference. But at the moment you can't actually adjust the shadow at all because you can't see the options. You have to highlight the layer effect by clicking on it in order to see the options that go with that layer effect. And that confuses people sometimes because just clicking the checkbox is enough to turn it on. But if you want to actually adjust it, you have to highlight the layer effect. So let's take a minute and talk about some of the more common things that you might want to change. First of all, there's this little circle here with a line on it that controls the angle of light. And this will control what direction the shadow falls. There are 3 sliders that control the distance the shadow is from the letters, the size of the shadow, and the spread. And the spread controls how fuzzy or hard-edged the shadow is. 0 is very fuzzy, 100 is a very crisp edge. You can also change the color of the shadow by clicking the little colored box and then selecting your color. If you are going to use something other than black, I would change this option here from multiply to normal. Don't worry about what that is yet, but just change that to normal if you're using a color. If you put your spread up to 100, this allows you to create sort of those retro 3D effects that are common in like 70s poster titles. Anytime there's a plus sign next to the layer effect, that means you can add more than one. So you can actually click that plus and then add a new drop shadow, which allows you to kind of layer up several layers of color if you wanted to. Just click the trash can to get rid of it if you change your mind. So once you click OK, you'll see there's now a little FX on your layer to tell you that layer effects have been applied. And you can also see those layer effects under the layer, and you can even turn them on and off there to see the difference. So we're going to move to the word title now, so double click on it, and then go down to the option that says stroke, and make sure you highlight that option. Stroke is basically just an outline. There's a box there, just like drop shadow, that you click on to select color. And just like any other time you're selecting color, you can choose colors directly from your art. So you can get the exact same red if you wanted to use that. The size slider controls the thickness of the outline. You can also decide if you want to position the outline outside the letters, inside the letters, or a little bit of both. There's also an opacity slider like most layer effects, and that controls how transparent the effect is. If you put it at 50%, you'll be able to see through the effect a little bit. So you see if I put the word title over top of fancy, you can still see the letters a little bit through the outline. And just like with drop shadows, you can have multiple strokes applied to the same text. You can also use the stroke effect to create a pretty cool title where only the outline is visible and the text itself is transparent. First, we're going to click on the little FX symbol and we're just going to drag that down to the trash can. just to get rid of it. Then we're going to change the color of the text to black if you want your outline to be light, or to white if you want your outline to be dark. Double click on the layer to bring up the layer style window, and then add a white stroke to the letters like you normally would. Then go up to the top and highlight the line that says Blending Options. Go down to the sliders at the bottom, and if your text is black, you're going to grab the little triangle under the black part of the bar and just click and drag it a little bit to the right. And that will make the black text disappear, but you'll still see the outline. If your text is white, just do the same thing, but from the other side. Grab the arrow under the white and pull it a little bit to the left. And that's it. That makes your text transparent, but the stroke remains. It's pretty easy to do, but it looks really impressive on photographic backgrounds. Okay, so make sure you're comfortable with drop shadows and strokes, and then you can move on to the second advanced title tutorial, where we'll look at some other layer effects.